Did you know there's a big difference between a tortoise and a turtle? If you thought they were the same, don't feel bad. Even a famous children's book author had it wrong. In 1962, Dr. Seuss published a book called One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. It was a collection of whimsical poems about sea creatures. And in one of them, he wrote about a turtle who lived on land and went to school with a tortoise. That's a turtle, right? Turtle who goes to school? Well, not exactly. We'll tell you why in a bit. First, let's start with their shells. They're both covered in shells, but a turtle's shell is much smoother and more dome-shaped. A tortoise's shell, on the other hand, is flatter and has more of a saddle shape. The number of these bumps or scutes on a turtle's shell can vary. Some turtles even have smooth shells without any bumps at all. But tortoises always have these 5 to 11 large flattish plates called costals along their shell's edges. These are the most obvious differences between the two. But what about the way they move? After all, you might be thinking, isn't the way they move their shells what we re-looking at when we talk about how they walk? Not quite. Turtles and tortoises do move differently, but it's not just because of their shells. You see, turtles have flippers. Their front flippers are flattened and turn outward. This helps them steer underwater while their back flippers are used for braking and balancing. Because of their shape, turtles tend to walk in a side-to-side motion. Now take a look at a tortoise's legs. Can you see how they're shaped like paddles? Unlike turtles, which have high-arched feet, a tortoise's feet are flat. And unlike a turtle's webbed feet, they have claws. So they dig into the ground and help them walk in an up-and-down motion. See, tortoises walk differently because they spend most of their time on land. Their leg and shell shape helps them navigate rugged terrain and climb rocks and logs. Plus, their claws come in handy when they need to dig burrows to lay eggs or hibernate during the winter. Next, let's talk about their heads. Turtles usually have longer, narrower heads with pointed snouts, while tortoises have shorter, wider heads with flat snouts. Why is that? Well, it has to do with what they eat. Most turtles are carnivorous or omnivorous, which means they need to catch and eat fish, insects, worms, and other small aquatic animals. That's why they've evolved to have long, narrow jaws that can clamp down on slippery prey. Tortoises, on the other hand, are almost always herbivorous. Their shorter, flatter jaws are great for crushing plants, and their teeth are designed for grinding them up. Finally, their shells are attached to their skeletons in different ways. A turtle's shell is fused to its backbone and ribs, but the individual bones that make up the rest of its skeleton remain separate. Meanwhile, a tortoise's shell is directly attached to everything, including its collarbone, breastbone, and even its pelvis. So a tortoise's shell is essentially one giant bone. So after learning all this, you're probably ready to put your knowledge to the test. Are you a turtle expert? Take our quiz to find out. In the United States, the biggest threat to turtles and tortoises is habitat loss due to development and destruction of wetland ecosystems. Climate change is also a big threat because it causes sea levels to rise, which can flood coastal habitats and makes it harder for turtles to find food and lay eggs. Even though these reptiles can live for hundreds of years, many species are endangered or threatened. You can help turtles and tortoises by supporting organizations that protect their habitats and by making sure your actions do and negatively affect their homes. For example, if you live near a lake or pond, you can reduce the amount of fertilizer you use on your lawn. That way, when it rains, the fertilizer won't wash into the water and harm the turtles living there. And if you live near a beach, you can participate in a beach cleanup to remove trash that could harm turtles who mistake it for food. Now watch this video to learn what happens when a baby sea turtle gets caught in a plastic bag. Or click this other video to learn about Operation Tortoise.